beach fishing stinger rig. Hi, my name's Roger Osborne, and in today's video I'm going to teach you all about my stinger rig and how to put the bait on. I've had so many people ask me the question in comments on my videos exactly how to bait up using my world's deadliest rig, which is the stinger rig for beach fishing. So I'm going to go through that now. I'm going to put on several different baits and show you how I put the baits on. But before I do that, I just want to talk through the rig a little bit and explain a few details and important things. So I know you're going to enjoy this video. Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and check out rogersfishing.com. But yeah, I want to show you some important details. Now, this is your classic stinger rig, which as in my video, where you've got your stinger hook, which is a sliding hook. Some people have asked that. See how that slides up and down the line like that? It's not fixed. So that hook is sliding, and you can see that like that. And in this case, it's been made with a wire trace. You can see how I've used that little sleeve. I made this rig up earlier, and it's connected to a swivel at this end. And this actual rig would be maximum 30 centimeters or 12 inches. I don't like it to be longer than that. It's just a nice compact rig for casting. And of course, this swivel is attached to your main line, and your sinker is a running sinker that sits on your main line directly above the swivel, and then you've got your stinger rig. Now, I use this off the beach when there are fish around that have sharp teeth, because it means that you can fish for other species and you're not concerned or afraid that you're going to be bitten off because of the wire. So you can actually catch a shark or bluefish slash tailor slash shad with this, or anything else with really sharp teeth. However, I use this same rig in rivers and lakes. It's awesome. I love it. I use it a lot when I'm fishing for bream. And when I do that in rivers and lakes, I don't use the wire because there's much less likelihood of being bitten off. So I've actually made up another one. All I've done is I've got my swivel with my monofilament line, this is. Now I'm just going to put the hook on. This is important. I want to show you something. You can see I've got my two hooks. That big hook is a 4-0 suicide hook. 4-0 is just a great standard size hook for a lot of different baits and fish. And then I've got my smaller stinger, which I generally prefer a size 2 for the stinger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stinger on first. There's two ways you can actually put it on when you put the line through the eye of the hook. You want to put it on so that the hook hangs down and the shaft of the hook is parallel to the line. So it's important that you put it through the eye of the hook this way. If you turn the hook around, for example, and put the line through the hook in the opposite direction, then if you look, you can see that the hook kinks the line. It won't lie nice and neatly parallel to the line. It won't bend down. I know it's probably, I'm stating the obvious here, but you know, it's quite easy to put it on the wrong way. So make sure you put it on. Put your stinger hook on like this first. I'm just going to whack that on. I'm just going to tie the main hook on now with just that standard knot that I use a lot of the time. I've got a knot video that you can have a look at where it shows you how to make that knot. So I'm just going to bite the tag off. So you can see now, this is a replica of the other stinger rig I've got here with those two hooks. Like, I'll lie them next to each other. This one is made with your mono there, and this one here is with the wire. So you've got the two different ones. Now there are some subtleties when it comes to putting bait on, whether you're using wire or monofilament. There are some subtleties with it. So I'm going to put some baits on now and just explain to you the difference. So I'm going to start off with the wire one first, and we're going to put on a pilchard. I'm going to show you how I do that. So I've got a pilchard here, so I've got a couple. So I'm going to cut this pilchard in half. I usually like to trim a little bit of the tail off. Just makes it a little bit more aerodynamic. I know it's a small detail. Then when I cut it in half, I'm not going to cut it in half straight through like that. I'm going to cut it in half on an angle. So I've got a larger cut face. So essentially I've cut my pilchard in half like that. Now I'm going to put the tail on first. When you use this stinger rig, or world's deadliest rig, you get two baits out of each pilchard, which is fantastic. And it's not a huge bait, so you know, it casts really quite a long way. Okay, so what you do first of all is you put the main hook through the body up towards the tail end of the pilchard. And you're actually going to put this all the way through, like so. Then you're going to turn it around and pin it about in the middle, all the way through to the other side, and then just pull that up. You can see the hooks come out the other side there, and you can see it's lying along the body nicely there. And you just pull that up so that's sitting flat like so. Now my stinger hook, which has been sliding up there in, I'm going to slide him down. And really with this, all you can really do with the stinger hook is just pin it through the pilchard, through the tail, like so. So you've got your stinger hook sitting in the back end of the tail like such. There's your two barbs. You've got the barb of the stinger there and the barb of your main hook. And so that's what your bait looks like, technically, when you use the tail end of the pilchard. I'll just turn it over and show you that side as well. That's what it looks like. That's exactly what I do when I'm fishing. Because the wire is not that flexible, you're a little bit limited in bending, you know, because the wire doesn't, it'll kink if you bend it too much. So we've used the first half of the pilchard, the tail end of the pilchard, but we don't want to waste any of that precious pilchard, so we're going to put the head part on, which is slightly different to putting the tail on, so I'm going to show you how to do that now. So as with the tail, in the tail we put it right through the tail. What I do is I put this main hook right through the fish's eye, like so, and then I'll pin the hook through the body, pull it back around there like that. So you can see that the hook is coming out this side. You can see the barb of the hook there. So I've put it through the eye, and then all I do with the keeper hook, you can put it through the eye also, or you can just hook it from underneath the jaw, just hook it up through the jaw of the fish, like that. Can you see that? That's actually, it works really well. I know this is sticking out the side there a little bit, that really doesn't make any difference. I mean, it will pull up the slack because it's, so there you go, you've got your hook through there, and you've got the stinger through the mouth of the pilchard, or you could actually put that stinger through the eye as well if you want to. So now I'm going to put a piece of fish fillet, or what we call a slab bait. I've got some slimy mackerel that I caught and filleted it up and salted, so I'm just going to cut this for you and show you how I will put that on the stinger rig. Okay, so here we go. So what would I do in this case? I've got a nice piece of fish there. I don't want the bait to be too long, similar to half a pilchard, so I'm going to cut that like so, and then I'm going to cut this here. Look at that lovely piece of fish meat there. How good does that look? Although I definitely wouldn't eat it. So it's very similar. What I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to put it through the flesh side first, up towards the top end of the fillet. I'm going to pull that all the way through the skin, like so, because I want to pin the main part of the hook fairly low down in the bait like that. I'll push that through so the barb goes through into the flesh, like that. Then I'll pull that, I'll just pull that up. So that's going to sit in there like that. And then really all you can do in this instance with your stinger is just pin it through. I pin it through so that the barb will come out in the flesh, and that stinger's sitting there nicely in the top of that slab bait. You can see the barb there and the barb of the main hook. It's absolutely amazing how many fish get caught on that little hook. Big fish, little fish. In fact, I reckon more fish get brought undone by the little stinger at the top of this rig. So really, how simple is that? That's really easy. So now we're going to put on a piece of squid. Alrighty, so we've got the squid here. So I think what I might do is I might cut that guy about there and just move that out of the way. Get this guy here. Let me have a look at this. Oh yeah, that's okay. I'm going to cut this here like so. Now I do like to have my bait in a little bit of a wedge so that the bottom part, the main meaty part where the big hook is bigger, and the top where the stinger goes is just a little bit smaller. So it's the same procedure here with the squid. I'm going to put the main hook towards the top. This all helps hold it in place. Pull it all the way through the squid and then pin that nicely down there through the squid like that. Then I'm going to bring my stinger. I want my stinger facing the barb facing the same way. You could try reversing it, but I'm just going to, the wire makes it a little bit fiddly when you do this. Actually, I think for this to sit more naturally, I think I'll put it through the reverse way. So that way you've got a barb sticking out each side. So I'm just going to hook that barb through near where the other stuff is like that. So in this case, I've got the barb of the main hook out this side of the squid. My stinger is up the top here, holding it up, but I've got the barb facing the other way. So that's cool. I'm happy with that. You know, the fish would gobble that up, that squid bait. So there you have it. That's how you put squid, fish fillet and pilchard on the world's deadliest stinger rig for beach fishing. Now, with the stinger rig when you're using monoline, it's a little bit different when you're putting the pilchard on. I'm just going to show you what I mean. So I'm just going to cut one in half, exactly the same as when I'm doing it on the wire, but I'll show you why. Okay, so I've got my pilly here, as my habit. I'm going to trim the tail, I'm going to cut him in half on an angle, then I'm going to get my main hook, going to put my main hook all the way through the pilchard like that, and then pin it down here through that nice meaty bit. Beautiful, look at that. Pull that bit of slack line up so you can see, look, you've got your lovely barb hidden in that fish there with the barb exposed. Then I'm going to slide my stinger down. Okay, so I've got my stinger down here. I'm going to put the stinger through, actually I'll put it through the same hole, doesn't matter. But the beauty of using the mono, because it's flexible, I love using half hitches to hold my bait in place. So I'm actually going to make a half hitch by twisting that over like that, just making a loop and then turning it around, and I'm just going to hold it over there, and I can tighten that, pull that noose tight like that. So you can see now I've got my half hitch there, which is holding that stinger hook. It's wrapped around the tail. That's just another added, just causes everything to sit together really nicely, and it's a really good bait for casting, this bait. Fantastic. Really good bait for bream and flathead, trevally, all sorts of things. So that's the main difference using the mono. You have the ability to make a half hitch on your bait. I'm not going to show you how to put the fish fillet and the squid on because it's exactly the same when you're using mono. The main difference is you can have the top part of your bait a little bit narrower, and if you want to put a half hitch around there to hold it in place, you can do that. So I hope this has answered your question. So many of you have asked me how to put the baits on the stinger rig, so that was my motivation in doing this video for you today. Really enjoy doing these videos. I look forward to seeing you soon. I've got some more beach fishing videos planned, so make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and check out rogersfishing.com, which is my online fishing community. Come and join the club. I'll see you soon.